Hey everyone, it is Karina Arnold, and this is your June energy update. How is everyone? How are you doing? What is happening in your world? There's certainly lots happening in the collective world, that's for sure. And I've often thought of all my followers here and was sending you all love because I could feel in the collective and also in myself that this has been a month so far of massive uprising in the collective, obviously, is what we're seeing. And that means massive uprising within ourselves as well. Looking at our own shadow, looking at our own darkness, and having to witness and see the truth of both what's happening in the world and as well, which is always the case, what's happening in ourselves, because we're always reflecting back what we're seeing within ourselves out in the world, if you can get my gist with that. As within, so without. As without, so within is what I just heard. So it's been a taxing year so far, between everything going on with COVID and now the massive uprising throughout the globe in what we're seeing in people standing up for injustices in many different areas of life. And this is going on in many different countries around the globe. I just heard that's not going to go away. That's going to continue. The one thing that I keep hearing through all of this is, as the old starts to uprise to be released, we have to come together, and this is not the first time this message has been channeled through me, of what is the collective new vision. As things fall away, as the old falls away, we've been guided for months and months, not only through me, but through a number of different channelers and visionaries and teachers. What is our vision for the new? And we have to start to really come into alignment with what that starts to look like. And I just heard that that can be done in the middle of the chaos. I know it's been chaotic, and even for me, I've done some deep questioning on what is it that I want to continue to contribute to going forward, to the point where I was even questioning these energy updates. Are they of value? And actually, please let me know if they are. I still see there's well over 200 people that watch them. Sometimes we get up to 600 or 700. So there definitely people are watching. I think it's good for me to hear what you're getting out of it and if it's bringing you value, because all of this takes time. I think what you see is, maybe me sitting here for 30 minutes or an hour, or another teacher or channeler doing the same. But this is hours of preparation work. It is really being in the deepest of service, and through meditation and prepping your own energy and what are the messages going to be. And so I think along with me, within me, and I'm sure with you as well, there's been a reassessment piece of where is my energy best spent. I'm still personally processing through that, which means to me that perhaps many of you are doing that as well, because we're vibrationally and energetically aligned if you're syncing up with me here on this video. So what is our intention going forward? What is our vision going forward? What is working for us? What is not working for us? And I think the numerous things that have been happening this year is really helping us get clarity of what works, what doesn't work. What do I want to continue doing going forward? What do I want to pull back on? It's a time of reassessment. One of the things that came through this Monday, I was guided to pull a card for my followers on Facebook. And it was a very interesting message that came through. And you know what? They're just telling me I should read it out. So bear with me as I go on here and read it. And it was interesting because we got the cards 2 weeks in a row. And the card meant something different for 1 week to the next. And that's often what happens with me, is because I'm an intuitive reader. The card is almost like a doorway opening. It's like a jumping off point for me. And that's when the information comes through. But the channel session that's coming through, sorry, my computer just did something weird. The channel message that came through was interesting. So it says, hold on to your hats, beloveds. Here comes the change and upheaval we've been preparing for. If you thought the beginning of the year was intense, it was only prepping you for the real tour of duty coming. I thought that was interesting words. And when I'm writing these words, I'm just channeling through. When I read it before I hit send, I kind of wanted to edit that wording because to me it had a very military type energy, just because of the context of what it's been used for historically. And I deleted it and was like, no, put it back. So I'm trusting that wording is going to mean something. And I just went with it. So anyways, and then it says, we were asked to go into solitude to get centered and still, to remember and to get clarity, have times of reflection on what is working and what is not. Now as the doorway opens, and I thought that was very interesting wording, we are all walking out into the world, seeing the truth and wanting change. And many teachers have said this. I mean, 2020, if you think about 2020 vision, you're starting to see really clearly. And what getting quiet allowed us to do is, now that our doors are opening back up and we're walking back out into the world, we are shocked in some ways in what we're seeing. We are clear all of a sudden on, hold on, this isn't going to work for me anymore. I need something different. And we're wanting to create, I'm getting this energy of what we were able to kind of co-create within our own homes. We want to see that out in the world. And so not all of us had, perhaps some of you didn't have a lot of peace at home. I'm very aware of people maybe not being in the best situation at home. But many of us, as we sat in the energy of home, got back to our families, got back to some peace, got back to some balance where we weren't running around all the time from this activity to that activity, from this commitment to that commitment. And also what I'm hearing is tuning into our own hearts and souls. We started to realize, and as we go out into the real world again, this is not going to work for me. Something fundamentally has changed within us as a collective through this experience. And the world will never be the same from this moment on. I mean, this was going to be the catalyst year for that. And then they went on to talk about keeping your hearts open through this whole experience. So I'm not going to read the full thing, but I thought that one statement about, and as the doorway opens, we're walking out into the world, seeing the truth and wanting change. And that is definitely what we have been seeing specifically in the last few weeks as the doorways start to open and we go back into the real world. What are we putting our money into? I know many of my friends and I have been talking about, realizing how much more we can live without, because life got really simple, food, water, health. A lot of the restaurants were closed. A lot of the stores were closed. What fundamentally did you really need to get through and get by? And reassessing all that. So it's been a really wonderful reassessment phase for many people. Where do you want to put your energy? That's your physical energy, your emotional energy, if you want financial energy, right? Money's energy. Where are you wanting to put your energy? Where are you wanting to put your focus? Even on the things that are going on in the world. do you have an activist energy rising in you that needs to come forward and actually participate in activism more in whatever form that looks like? Do you have a volunteer energy rising in you where you want to volunteer for certain community events? Do you have a teacher energy where the teacher energy is rising in you where you feel you need to be more available to others through teaching various different modalities? Do you have a healer energy that's rising even more in you, and your way of being in service is to assist other people heal? And it could be a combination of all of this, right? And many more. So those different types of archetypes, it's interesting because they're becoming more clear for us, where I feel that it's been muddled for many years. So even in myself, I am being very clear about where, or I'm getting clarity. I'm still in the process of where I really want to put my energy. And a couple of opportunities have come to me, and I really am sitting with it. I'm really sitting. And is this where I want to continue to put my energy? And I think that will go on for quite a while. I'm hearing this will run into probably August energy, end of August. There's a full reassessment phase that's going on. All right. So with that being said, kind of a summary of what energetically I feel has been happening. Let's tune in with the cards to see what the next few weeks energetically are going to bring into the field. What is it that we most need to hear as a collective to help us? And my question is, what do we need to hear to lead our best and highest lives, the best and highest version of ourselves, so we can be in service to humanity and to our own awakening and the awakening of others within this world, and coming into the world in the highest compassionate state of love and compassion for others. So that's what I'm really going to tune into. What do you guys most need to know? What is it that I most need to know as we start navigating through the remaining weeks in June? So it's June 7th today is the day that this is being recorded. I've got so many cards out right now. I don't know what cards I'm going to pick. I'm just going to intuitively go with where I'm being guided. I will, as always, list the cards on the bottom in the details about what cards I'm using in the order that I'm using them, just if you guys are interested in any of the cards. That's usually how, by watching some other teachers on YouTube. This is the other thing. I'm not watching anyone. It's so weird. It's so weird. I feel like my energy is so precious. I feel like even people that maybe I have followed in the past, if I am not perfectly energetically in sync with it, my energy is not there. So a lot of things have fallen away from me. I just keep getting the message like, your energy is precious. What are you doing with it? Where are you placing it? What are you getting the most out of? And we'll all be in different varying levels of that. But for me, it's so crystal clear within the first few words of something that pops up on a feed or someone that I'm usually subscribing to. It's just like, yeah or no, right away. So my hope is that the words that come through here, you're in alignment to and you want to stick around and listen to. I know anyone who's vibrationally in alignment with these messages will receive this video. I'm sorry, I keep looking because I just got my hair cut. I got it cut really short and I wanted lots of structure. It's so interesting because things like hairdressers and stuff are opening up, and I just said to Joanna, I want a lot of structure because I had really long hair and I didn't have bangs anymore. So I look at myself for a second. I'm like, oh, like I'm not used to seeing myself with this much structure around my face. So anyways, it's interesting, your image of yourself, and then when it shifts that radically. It takes a while for your brain to grasp the change, right? But it feels good. It feels good. Okay, So just tuning in, asking for what it is we all most need to know in the month of June, please. There's one. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do one card at a time. They just said slow down, do one card at a time. We got the affirmations card. Affirmations card. So this is confirming, what they were just talking about and what's been coming through me. What are you affirming to? What are you wanting? There's something here about going within and getting clarity, because that's the energy that you are going to put out into the field, and that ultimately is the energy coming back. It says, I am love. What else is it saying? I am love, I am love, it says, I am love, I am strong. So lots of I am statements here, which I am statements are very powerful. But what are you aligning to? And I just got told, sit up again. And I got that in my last month's message, and I keep feeling there's this requirement to stretch and physically have alignment within your body right now. But what are you aligning to? What are you affirming to? What do you actually believe? And then what do you want to see? If you don't like what you're seeing in the field, what do you want to see? And what are the action pieces for it? Actually, they're going back to the channeling that they did through me, through my Facebook post. It said, keep going back to your... we go within to find balance, and we must, along with spirit, be advocates for love and compassion through changing times. Keep going back to your heart and find peace in the uncertainty of life right now. Peace does not mean inaction. Peace does not mean inaction. But it does mean peaceful and intentional action. Peaceful and intentional action, rather than reaction and fear. Peaceful and well thought out action always trumps no action or fearful action. So what are you focusing on? Your I am statements are an action piece. Your I am statements, when you think about, because I speak in energetic terms and I see energy, when you put out I am statements into the world, and even if you want to, what they're showing me is, even if you want to do this for the world collective, I am loving, I am accepting of all, I am free of fear, I am in alignment with the divine feminine and masculine, I am in balance. So we do that for ourselves, but they're just saying practice doing that for the world as well. I am free. I am free. I live without fear. Like what is your I am statement? That is an action statement as well. It's like a verb, right? And a verb is energy. A verb is moving forward. And energetically, what I see when people have clear intention and clear statements, clarity in what they want to co-create, it moves energy out into the field. And then you draw that energy in as part of the co-creation cycle. But you need to move that energy out through clear intention, through clear action to support your intention, right? So what are the natural steps as soon as you got clarity on your intention about what you want to co-create going forward? What is the new vision for yourself and for the earth? How do you support that new energy? What is your action step in it? So you get clear on your intention, you get clear on your I am statements, and then you have to get clarity on what your next step is. What is your next step? Action. There is an action piece in all of co-creation. And sometimes it's just energetically projecting the vision out. But then there is also having to move forward in some kind of, even if it's a minute way of supporting co-creating that vision in some way. Even if it's going out and buying a mug that reminds you, I don't know why I'm getting this, a coffee mug that reminds you of that vision. Even if it's going out and volunteering, if you're interested in a certain field, but it's going to take time to do that, could I volunteer in some aspects so I can move my energy towards it? There is always an action piece here. So get clarity on your affirmation. And I keep getting move that energy out into the field, both within your own internal vision and then at some point within an action, okay? So let's pull another card here to support that first card. That was way too many cards. There we go. Okay, here you go. Intention card. Honor your path, right? Honor your path this month. Again, I feel a divine feminine goddess energy. It's very, we know it's strong this year. We know that's what's coming forward in the collective, within all of us, even male energy. The men on earth, this goddess energy is coming forward. Honor the path. Honor your own inner vision is what I just heard. Again, look at the similarity in the energy being projected out here. Look at the energy waves. Look at the energy waves, and she's looking forward. She's looking forward for a vision. Look at the energy waves here, moving outwards from the internal vision. Knowing who you are, knowing what you want. What is your intention? What is your intention this month? It's really a month about getting clarity on what your intention is and honoring your path. And the one thing that I just got here is you'll be supported. There's a supportive energy here around you right now. It was interesting now that I think back of it. On Monday we got that card, which I was reading a bit of the channeling that came through. And the week before that, it was all about your divine team is with you and guiding you. And this is what I feel. Sometimes I hear clapping from my divine team in support of some of decisions, or sometimes when I've had to be courageous in something. Shine your light, stand in your truth. Project your energy out into the field. Know that you're supported. I feel a lot of support for all of you right now. I just heard you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. There's lots of energy right now of support from your divine team. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go pick a card from the Metatron deck. So just to support these other two cards, what else is that we need to know for the month of June? What else do we need to know for the month of June, please? I just heard as I was doing these cards, be you. Unapologetically be you. Do not apologize for who you are and how you come, because who you are and how you come is required in the field. There are too many people that have been trying to box themselves in for too long, not knowing where they fit, so they try to push themselves. They keep showing me, those like clown cars, like people trying to squish themselves into a car that's too small, all these people packed in. It's like there's only one driver for one car, and that's you, right? Stop apologizing for who you are and how you come, and let the chips fall where they may as you step into your power. As you step into your power and you stand in your light, you're afraid of not being well received or supported, but you will be. You might be shocked about how much support and love you will get if you just have the courage to put yourself out there and stand in your truth. Get clear of honoring your path and why you've come. Okay. So just asking, I'm asking, the cards keep flying out, but there's like 10 of them that fly out. My intention is if it's always more than 3, those are not cards that I need to communicate with. So just asking what else we need to know here for June. There we go. Oh gosh, you guys. Here we go. Shine on. Shine on. Do not push yourself into being something that you're not. Shine your light, your unique light. It's required. There's lots of pressure right now to support certain things in a certain way, act and do things in a certain way. Because if you're not, you're not in alignment with the message and you don't support it. And they're just saying that's absolutely not true. You follow what you feel is best and how you best support the change on this earth right now. And like they said, for some of you, that will be absolute activism and being out on the street, doing what you need to do. And for others, it will be all the way on the other end, praying and holding a vision. And for some of us, it will be the middle ground of doing both in our own unique ways. You stand in your light and you do what you feel is right in this moment. Don't let others bully you in being something that you're not and leaning to the cause in some way that doesn't feel in alignment with you. That doesn't mean we're not open to hearing feedback. That doesn't mean we're not open to the truth. But the way in which we contribute to the change is our own choice. We came here in unique vibrations, in unique ways. We cannot all follow the same path towards contributing to the shift and the change. Does that make sense? You are your own unique individual. You came here to shine on in your own unique way. And as we start to get clarity, as the doorway opens and we step back out into the world, you will start to get more and more clear if you're really, really paying attention of what you're actually here to do and how you can contribute to the shift in the best way possible. And for some of us, that's just speaking our truth and standing in our light with love in our hearts and compassion for all. And for others, it will be a variety of different ways. But don't let anyone put you in a box. They just said to me, don't put baby in the corner. I think that's from Dirty Dancing. No one puts baby in the corner. Don't push yourself into a box. It's not that, listen, the universe knows that change happens through uncomfortable situations. And there's lots going on the earth right now that's making us feel uncomfortable, shaking things loose, feeling uncomfortable about the way we saw things, reassessing how this world actually works, and what is my actual belief in this, and what do I support and what don't I support. But the way in which you move forward to support the change, I just feel like don't let anyone put you in a box. Know your truth. Know why you've come and get clarity. For some of you, even the best of opportunities might come forward and you need to decide if that is right for you or not. It might logically make sense. Everyone around you might say you have to take that opportunity. But if it doesn't feel right, if you feel like you're being shoved in a box that's too small, too narrow, too big, too wide for your energy right now, you've got to honor that and you've got to shine your light in your own unique way. You've got to shine your light in your own unique way, and you will know what that is for you. You will absolutely know what that is for you if you just go within and listen. They just said to me, getting quiet and being in reflection is absolutely required. And many of you have had that opportunity over the last few months. But be very cautious of not going back into the busy energy. It's interesting because I'm out on the, I'm driving the roads again, and I've been out and about through this whole thing because I've had to be due to my unique circumstances. And I was out driving roads that were very calm. Hardly anyone was out. And every week now it's getting more chaotic and more chaotic out on the roads. And it's just a symbol of, and when I'm out, I'm thinking, oh, is this what we're going back to? This chaotic need to get there quickly, really fast. Have tons of things to do. Got to catch up on this. Is this what we're doing? Is this what you want? because my gut's telling me? I don't think it is. But our initial comfort zone might be going back to our old manner of doing things. But what they want you to pay attention to is that if that feels uncomfortable with you, question why. And if we really need to go back to this old way of doing things. We are not going back to the old way of doing things. I just heard, as much as we push forward in some of us being fearful of the change that's coming, and there's a lot of fear in the collective now with all this change. Not because they don't support the change, because they don't know what the future looks like, and that's uncomfortable. That's why we have to they're telling me that's why we have to get in alignment with what is comfortable with you, what is comfortable right now. And your comfort zones might change as this whole energy progresses out in the field. You've all come here to do unique things. What is it that you can do to lend to the change in a way that still feels like it's in alignment with you? It's in alignment with your own personal light. I'm going to pull animal spirit guide card. What else do we need to know for the month of June, please? I love the sound of these when this is the Stephen Farmer deck, and it's got like ridges on it. And I just love this. I don't know why I love the sound. And they're really easy to shuffle. So thank you, Stephen, if you had anything to do with the design of them. They're just the perfect size, and they do shuffle really beautifully. Okay. What else do we need to know for the month of June, please? Okay. Falcon energy. The first thing I'm getting, I'm not going to read the bottom yet, but the first thing I'm getting is it's really important that we get perspective and we keep that higher perspective on everything that's going on. I know with everything going on in the collective, even in myself, there's been some days where I have been brought to tears. Just seeing the amount of trauma in people's souls, seeing the amount of pain in people's souls, feeling that pain, feeling that trauma, feeling that sense of anger, feeling that sense of loss, not feeling seen, feeling just fear, feeling like it's been so overwhelming for me some days where I have been led to tears more than once. And I stay away from the news as much as possible, trying to balance staying educated and connected with, what is wellness within your own self. But the one thing I keep getting is we need to always coming back to a higher perspective on all of this from a perspective of compassion and love for all. And as I'm saying this, I've got birds actually flying outside my window, again, confirming this message and they're just actually just floating. There's lots of wind here today, and what they're showing me is they're not actually pumping their wing, they're not flapping their wings, they're floating on the breeze that's coming in, and they're finding stability and surrendering to the flow of the wind underneath their wings, and they're letting that move them forward. And so they want to confirm that the message through this card is making sure that we're able to come from a higher perspective, and also just as the winds of change come, allow it to move and flow you forward with ease. Don't resist it. Don't fight it. Don't flap against it. Go with the flow of life. Go with these uncertain times. and continue to have a higher vision for what the world can look like, for what your life can look like. Come together as a collective. It's so interesting as I'm saying this. Now I have a whole flock of birds doing this and coming by the window as they were as individuals, and now they're coming back together as a collective. Hold that vision. So act on what the word says is act on the opportunity that's before you and commit to it without doubt, basically, right? Commit to something. Have a vision. Keep a higher vision, commit to it though, act on it, move forward, grab this opportunity for something new to come into your life. Grab this opportunity to stand in your own light. Why have you come? What are you here to contribute? Keep shining your light. Keep shining your light. Even in the midst of the storm is what they just said to me. Even in the midst of the storm. And continue to have and hold the highest vibration for all, the highest level of vision, the highest level of vision. There's lots of, talk about spiritual bypass, right? And sometimes when you hear this message about holding the highest vision, you'll get this feedback, oh, that's just spiritual bypassing. You've got to get into the crux of it, and you've got to do this, and you've got to do that. And there is some truth to that for sure. But not everyone is meant to be on the front lines. Some people are meant to continue to hold the vibration of highest frequency and a clear vision for all. And don't think that that did not help in some way. Keep holding the highest vision. Keep holding the highest vision of others. Keep seeing their true hearts, even in the midst of their crisis, even in the midst of their pain. See their hearts, see their souls, see that they're wanting something better for themselves and others. Keep holding the highest vision for what we need to see on earth. You could spiritual bypass if you don't want to deal in the reality of the world. I think many people here are very aware of the painful reality of what we are in the midst of right now, of the painful reality yet opportunity and change. But we need to hold on to a higher vision. And as I keep hearing, what do we do now? Now it's all shaken up, and it will continue to get shaken up. Now it's all breaking apart. Now we're starting to see about child sex trafficking and all this kind of stuff that we've denied within the collective for so long, and racism and all this kind of stuff of these subconscious belief systems that are here about male and female energy. I was just in a great conversation yesterday about who decided that boys play with trucks and girls play with dolls. Who decided that? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for us as a collective as we're trying to love both our male and female aspects. And who defines what's a male and female aspect anyways, other than maybe major constructs of what male and female energy is. When it comes to the nitty gritty on earth plane, these old, archaic, outdated systems are crumbling and breaking away. And you can crumble and break them away. And I keep seeing sledgehammers being taken to a wall, and the wall is just crumbling. On the other side of the wall, if you don't have a vision, you don't know where you're going, and it'll just be continued chaos. So I feel that there will be leaders that will come forward, who will be asking those questions and hopefully taking the reins on, as the walls crumble, what do we do now to take those fragmentations of the wall that's been crumbled and start to create a new pathway going forward. And what they're showing me is through that a vision of, as the bricks tumble, taking those bricks and the pieces of the bricks that still make sense, the piece of the bricks of the best of humanity, of the best of what we've already built, and augmenting it, moving it into a new path, laying new bricks. And that is what you're going to see happen. We need to do it in our own personal worlds to see it transform into the collective world. As within, so without. So as your personal walls start to crumble, as things start to change, whether that's with your career, whether that's with relationships, whether that's through old belief systems, whether that's through subconscious belief systems that you're realizing have been there, like, for example, what's a male toy, what's a male color, what's a female color, what's a this, what's a that, all those things that you're questioning now and crumbling away. What is it that we can take from those experiences to build something new? What is the best of everything in us? The best of humanity, the best of our abilities, the best of our wisdom, the best of our vision, the best of our love, the best of our joy, the best of our intelligence, the best of our creativeness to build a new pathway forward in your life and for the collective. Okay. I'm going to pull one more card and then we'll go into what it is we need to surrender out of or into. Oh, there we go. Oh gosh. Action. It's time for action. As the doors start to open, let the light lead the way. There will always be the darkness in the background. The darkness is there to point us in the direction. It's like the dark, what they're showing is the darkness is there to show us which way we don't want to go. It's required in that sense. It reflects back to us what we don't want, and it allows us to move forward away from it, but knowing that it's always there in support of the growth and loving that. I know it's hard to, when you're seeing levels of hatred in this world, to come to a place where you know that's been required to show us a better way out. I know that's very hard to see sometimes, but through my own personal experiences, that's what the darkness shows us sometimes, is that it shows us the way out. It shows us what we don't want really clearly. And that is being demonstrated right now in our own lives and also without in the collective. So there is an action piece this month. As we start to create the next vision, what is your first step forward towards that? And it can be just a little step in lending your energy to the change in whatever way you feel you're guided to, in whatever you feel that you've been here to shine your light into. What is it as we go through this massive collective restructure in the field? How can you help? And what do you need to do in your life to shine more light, to move forward in the light, to find balance in the experience? There is a huge action piece this month for people. The door is open. Now what are you going to do? Is what I just heard. The door is open. Now what are you going to do? Are we going to slip back into old ways of being, old busyness, old craziness? Or are we going into something new? Do we have the courage to shine our light? Do we have the courage to listen to why we've come? Do we have the courage to step into that new energy? When I asked what do we surrender into and what do we surrender out of, so this is the card that just popped out. Surrender your attachment to results. Isn't that like, that's, anyways. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not in awe of it all. And this is another reading. The formula for success: to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can be sabotaged. So as we move forward, as we get clarity of vision, as we've been asked to take some even small action steps, maybe for some of you it'll be big. Maybe it'll be like, I'm closing down my website. I'm not doing this anymore. I don't know. But if it's small or big, and as we start looking out into the future, as we start looking out into the future, as we start holding a new vision, as we start getting clear in our intention, as we start taking small action pieces, let go of the ultimate end result. Let go of the ultimate end result. We don't know where this is going to take us yet. It's similar to what they're saying the birds were doing. They were just flying on the winds of change, not knowing the ultimate destiny. So you get a clear vision for what you want to hold in your life, you start to get clarity on the changes you feel at the present need to help you, assist you in moving forward in your life. But you don't know where you're going to be in 20 years. You don't know where you're going to be in 2 years right now. But what they said to me was, what feels good now? What feels good in your soul now? What action piece feels like you're in alignment that brings some sense of peace and joy? That's what they want for you right now. Follow the winds of change. Allow the flow of life to take you. And continue to navigate with your own intuitive knowingness about what feels good and what needs to be let go. And allow that to start to create a vision and moving forward. And they just said to me, it's okay to take a step forward. And again, does this actually feel good or no? And it's okay just to pull back and say, no, I'm going to go in another direction. It's like they just said to me, there's no right way or wrong way to navigate through this level of change. The only advice they have for you this month is keep tuning in and going within and following your heart. What feels good for you? What doesn't feel good for you? And even if you think it's this direction and you do it for a week or two or a month or two and then you're like, no, that needs to change. It's okay. Give yourself permission. Start to create a new vision then, or start to reassess the vision and then move forward again. They just said you don't know where this is headed and you don't need to know. And that's very hard for people, for a society, for a collective that likes certainty. And that's why change has taken so long to come, because even if it hasn't been serving the highest of humanity, we've stayed in status quo because we don't know what the future holds. But the future, the far off future is ever changing. From a quantum level, every decision, every choice, every collective decision, every collective choice changes the quantum outcome. So just go forward with what feels right today for me, what feels right tomorrow for me. What can I have energy for? What do I have to reserve my energy for? What feels in alignment to me? What doesn't feel in alignment to me? And that doesn't mean that it's right or wrong for everyone. It just means for you. For you. And having faith that following that middle way, that way of knowing what's right for you, leaning your energy to what your unique light needs to be lent to, will amass to a collective light shining that you have no idea of the final outcome yet, and that's okay. It's perfectly okay to surrender into not knowing. And that's how we keep coming back to our own intuitive knowingness again and again and again and again and again as we navigate through this massive change. I'm going to pull a card on self-care for the month of June. What do we need to know about self-care, please? The card just pulled out. Magnificence. Own your magnificence. It says, the world needs your brilliance and your grace. Right? This is what they've been saying all along. Shine your light. Know your beauty. Know your worth. Honor your path. The best thing you can do to take care of yourself is own your own magnificence. The world needs your brilliance and your grace. The world needs your brilliance and your grace. Self-care right now. Own your own light. Own your own brilliance. The world needs your brilliance and your grace. And self-care is about really honoring that this month. Really loving yourself enough. They just said to me, love yourself enough to follow your own light and your own path, knowing ultimately if we come to it with the highest of vision, the highest of intention for yourself and for the collective and for the world, we keep coming from the highest view, from God's perspective, and we shine our light from that place. There is no wrong in that. And that's what true self-care looks like. Be authentically you. Stop trying to shove yourself in a box that doesn't fit anymore. And when you're guided, take action that feels right. And love the darkness within yourself and even what you're seeing in the collective for showing what doesn't work anymore. They just said, love your fear, because your fear is moving you towards something greater. Anything else they want to say? Any other cards? Any other cards? I'm going to pull a Kuan Yin card for the final card. I just got this deck, so I'm still playing with the energy of it. I'm just going to call Kuan Yin, Divine Feminine Energy, forward, who I've been working with for a long, long time. I actually teach Karuna Reiki, which is not as well known as Reiki, such as Usui Reiki, but you actually work with the Kuan Yin energy, and I'm being guided to actually teach that again. And usually you've got to take your masters, just let a card pop out, of Usui, and then we go into our masters of Kuan Yin, of Karuna. But I'm just being guided to do the lower levels right now. So more on that if you're interested, perhaps in the fall. So I'm going to go to, they're telling me to go actually to their reading in so we got Maiden Mago. These cards are stunning, by the way. I just look at the back of each of them. And I just heard this is all about embracing the Divine Mother within yourself. Of course, the earth is Divine Mother. Maiden Magu is an immortal expression of the Divine Mother. There we go. Of the East, now bringing you a special message from Kuan Yin. She guides you to trust that if you enter into the darkness of the unknown parts of yourself, you will emerge into the light. Reassemble and reborn once again. If you're going through chaos in life, because you are allowing yourself to grow, Maiden Magu also reassures you that the order and light will emerge out of the chaos in due course. How beautiful is that? That's what they've been saying through the whole reading. Have faith. Keep growing. Your light will emerge through all this chaos in your life right now. The light will emerge through all the chaos on the earth right now. Okay? In order to grow spiritually, there are times when we simply must delve within and find our shadow. We must find the shadow. And that's what we're doing here. It is easier to perceive the effect of the shadow than the shadow itself. The effect of the shadow is judgment, positive or negative, of another that we do not think is related to us personally. We may mightily admire or despise characteristics or traits in another, and when such judgments arise, it is part of us that is seeking to be integrated and expressed, trying to get our attention through our judgment. How beautiful is that? Noticing our judgments of others is the quickest way to get in touch with the shadow self, trying to grow and heal into our conscious awareness that we can become more whole, empowered, and divinely delicious. I love that wording, divinely delicious, as we were always meant to be. This especially so if you've pulled, okay, so that's going into the darkness shows us the way. And shows us the way because of our judgments, because of our fear, because of all those shadow pieces within us, because it never feels good to be there, does it? And this is the other message. Follow your bliss. Follow what feels good. And if there are things rising within your shadow, just because of everything that's going on right now, where you're questioning your own belief systems, where you're questioning how people are acting, where you might find yourself in judgment and not exactly being able to take the higher perspective here. Embrace that, is what they just said to me. Embrace that and let that integrate and show you the way out. Allow it to show you the way through and the way out into a higher perspective, into your highest perspective of love and compassion. There's a whole, it goes on and on and on. But I'm just going to leave it at that because I think that sums it up in many ways. I wish for you all great love as you navigate through this month, very much so. And I know as we're going through this transitional time, it can be very scary. It can be uncertain. It can be frightening. I'm hearing and I want you to know that you're held in the hands of God, in the hands of love, in the hands of light. And as the darkness rises in us all to be seen, allow the discomfort of feeling that move us in the direction to our highest potential, our highest love, and our highest light. Shine your lights, beloveds. That's really all you can do. You've all come here to do something unique and special. And just as I'm here pulling these cards for you, and I certainly hope that it is being of benefit for you, that is my deepest wish. As I reassess everything I'm going to contribute to going forward, keep reassessing, keep watching where you have energy for and what you don't. Stand in your power and keep loving yourselves through it. They want me to pull this card up. There is magnificence within you. Don't be afraid to stand in it. Don't be afraid to show it. The world needs you right now. Needs your voice. Needs your action if you feel an action piece. Needs your activism if that's what you feel. It needs your teaching. It needs your love. It needs your healing. It just needs you. Have the courage to show up in the best way possible right now. All right. Much love to you. Much love to you. I hope you found this of benefit for you. We'll see if I'm back in July. I think I will be. Time will tell. All right. You take good care of you. And know that you're loved beyond measure, always. We'll see you soon.